Good evening, Manchester United fans. Welcome to Dan United. Tonight we are going to discuss Ruben Amorim fighting back. Is everything peachy? Well, I tell you what, we'll find out after this. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Do you know something? Isn't it so much nicer when we do these shows off the back of a good result for Manchester United? And I'm going to say this right now. There is a lot of Chelsea fans out there who have got a lot to say. One of them in particular saying, oh, do you know something? Rather than going to Manchester United, I'd rather just take the -3 points. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse. It was a humdinger. We had it all. I believe it was the first Premier League game to have 2 goals and 2 red cards in the same first half. Incredible. But how are we all feeling from today? I'm going to go through your comments shortly, but I wanted to just say a few things, really. So, look, the title of this is Amorim responds, Garnacho benched. I'll show you his heat map in a minute. If you haven't seen it already, it's a thing of beauty. And Casemiro Stupidity. Now, yesterday, at the end of the game, sat there with Kev and I said this. Manchester United today, I thought, were fantastic in the first half. Against 10 men, yes, you can say that. But I thought the shape was phenomenal. Then we went down to 10 men, and I thought we lost exactly what it was we were trying to do. I'm not going to blame this on Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has a lot to answer for. I've said this for a while. You know my thoughts. It's not always rosy for me with the manager. But yesterday, I think what it was down to was the players. I think the players in the second half absolutely bottled it. I think they were sent out with the instructions to try and keep hold of the ball, allow Chelsea to come onto them and then hit them onto the break. But Manchester United just couldn't seem to keep hold of the ball. Every time we picked the ball up, it was hoofed. It was just panic, sheer panic. A lot of people are going to say that's down to Amorim. A lot of people are going to say this is down to the manager giving across his tactics and the players just doing what they're asked. But I don't think it was. I really don't think it was. Amorim himself came out yesterday and said he wasn't happy with the performance in the second half and that we invited a lot of what was happening onto ourselves. I don't know why that's like that. Let me change. We're not having that as bloody blue. Come on now. Let's change that. How do we change that, chat? There we go. We're going back to red. We ain't having bloody blue. What are we talking about here? Let's go. We'll go like that. We'll go like that. Amorim wasn't very happy. And do you know what? At times, I have to agree with him. Kev, the voice of reason. But me, pure emotion. If you've not checked the shorts out yet on my channel, make sure you go and check them. They were the goals and the decisions in the game. Now, look, the game sparked into a frantic start, didn't it? You know, Sanchez being sent off from a beautiful flick from Sesko. Sesko, who sadly was the one who was made to pay for Casemiro's stupidity. We'll get into Casemiro in a minute. But I thought the whole shape of how we started that game, it was just 100 miles an hour. It was everything that we wanted. We wanted to put them under. Sesko's flick, and Mbeumo goes through. Sanchez just creates a massive bozo moment, takes him out. Chelsea down to 10 men. And then you sit there and you think, right, okay, let's go on there and let's get this done. We needed the goal difference sorted out. You don't get many opportunities against a club who are in the Champions League, who are world champions, to go out there and really have a go and send a message. Now, we all know that regardless of what you think, the reports come out that Amorim is on trial at the moment. Yesterday would have done a lot to help his cause. We have Brentford and we have Sunderland next. Manchester United have a great opportunity here to go out there and do this. They have a great opportunity to go out there and not win 2 in a row, but go out there and get 3. Because today, again, we're seeing clubs around us dropping points. Man City away at Arsenal dropped a point in the last couple of minutes. Newcastle away at Bournemouth dropped points with a stalemate. Aston Villa, yes, scoring a goal, but guess what? Dropped points. I said this before, regardless of the first 5 games, and I said at the start it was going to be 7 points. I said 7 points and I'd have been happy. There have been decisions that have gone against us in games. There have been decisions that we've made that have not made it a very excitable 7 points for me. But these are the games now, these next 2 games, where we can really try and take advantage. We've had the hardships. Yes, we've got Liverpool to come. Yes, we do have Liverpool to come. But in the next 2 games, we can get 6 points. We can get a maximum of 9 points. Now, the positivity is here because we won yesterday. Of course, it's going to be here. I'm not going to sit here and go, we won, but still won them out. No. We judge it by game on game. But there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of work for the manager to do to win a lot of fans over in that aspect. So the next 2 games, I'll say what I said before the Chelsea game. Extremely important, more important than the Chelsea game. We cannot be a football team that wins a game, the fans get going, go into the next game, and it's back to normal. They have to go out there and break that duck there. They have to. They absolutely have to. We know Brentford are struggling. 1 win in 5. I mean, they were appalling second half yesterday. I watched it. They were absolutely appalling. They're a team that I look at and go, yeah, we can absolutely get at these. So it's all about the players now and how much they want this. It's all about what they want to do with the chance they're going to get against these teams. You don't get many opportunities. You don't. The Premier League is a nasty, nasty beast. It's a nasty beast. It can absolutely destroy you. I mean, we are. Let me look at the table here. I'll bring it up for the chat in a second. Don't worry. The table at the moment, you know, you want to look at it super positive. We're 3 points off second. We're 3 points off second. It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. But the teams that I'm looking at, the teams that I will focus on, are the teams like Sunderland, Fulham, Everton, Palace, Bournemouth. They're the teams I think we should be looking and try and finishing above if we want to cement ourselves and get European football this season. So it's okay. You know, 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses. 2 losses coming against first and second. But we can always improve. We can absolutely always improve. We've got to make sure that we get the next 2 wins so that when we go to Liverpool, where inevitably we all know how Liverpool are looking at the moment. And yes, people can say, oh, but they had 250 million on the bench against Everton. Yeah, they had 250 million on the bench. They still won. Liverpool, let them focus on them. We've got to focus on ourselves here. We've got to be selfish here, okay? So let's get these next 2 wins before we move on and even think about the rest of the games here. Let me go into some of these comments. Andy, good to see you, my friend. Yes, good 3 points yesterday. Good evening, Wahaha. Good to see you as always, my guy. Like and subscribe. Yes, make sure you are liking and subscribing on the channel and hit the bell notification. Let you know when we go live. Good evening, Steve-O. Good to see you. Evening, Jamie. Ben, evening all. Back in brigade in full force. Horrible performance, says Wahaha. Who was your man of the match, Dan? My man of the match yesterday is simple. It was Mazraoui. I thought Mazraoui was exceptional yesterday. I love watching him in a United shirt. I genuinely do. Considering how much we paid for him, and he was meant to be a bit part player, how important has he become for us? At times, the game looks like a Halloween horror movie, says Steve, and if they don't follow the direction, means they're poorly coached. Wahaha, still not happy. Still not happy. Nothing wrong with that, of course. Full of scares, but we won at the end of the day. Enjoy it. We did. Red card was fun to watch back. I counted red cards 8 times in 10 seconds. Honestly, I was laughing to myself for that last night. Very poor decision-making during the game, but we had a bit of fight and running. Reasonably happy. Is Cassie making mistakes because he's lost pace, says Chappie. I'll come to Cassie in a second. How did your boy Ollie Watkins do? I believe he's probably got the same amount of goals that Sesko's got in the league. Wahaha, but you know. Evening, folks. Evening, Mr. OG himself, Moxie says, pleased with the 3 points yesterday and would have been much more convincing if Casemiro wasn't sent off. Chelsea are only a point behind, a point above us. Need to kick on now. First and second City United. You know what? You're right there. I was looking at Liverpool thinking about the game ahead. You're in a foul mood tonight. You are, Wahaha. Christ almighty. Did you get any sleep after watching Kev's watch along last night? What is up with you today? We fucking won last night. Come on. Wow. Christ. Yes, Steve, sadly, time waits for no man. They aren't actually playing that well, Liverpool, but as you say, they're winning. Sign of champions. We did it all the time. Sign of champions. Win ugly, you get the points. Dan, how much credit would you give to Maresca for our win? I'll speak about Maresca as well, don't you worry. Still not happy. Did their keeper have to make a save, even a man down? He did make a couple of saves. Wahaha. I remember the big one being when we broke away at the end. Bruno Fernandes hit an absolute ripper, but it was... Good save out for a corner. Parv says, hi, Dan, your prediction went right. Glory, glory, Man United. It absolutely did. I said 2-1, and I said I was confident. Maz and Delit, for me, love the flick from Sesko for the sending off. I agree, Andy. And were you happy with the lineup? Baba Flossie, I wasn't happy with the lineup, but that is something else I want to talk about. Plenty to talk about tonight. We have got shit to talk about. Mine was Delit. He made a difference, stepping in the middle, played really well. I thought Delit was quality last night. And shall I give him a tie night? No, we love Wahaha. I just hope he's all right. He seems very, very annoyed tonight. So yeah, let's get into the Casemiro side of it. Now, I watched the game back, as I like to do. I've got to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of fan channels today coming out and saying Amorim should have taken him off. And actually, to be fair, I have to agree. I think when you're playing 10 men and Casemiro, of all people, on a pitch like that, where it is absolutely bucketing it down, and you know that he's on a yellow card and he loves to slide in, he loves to do what he does, I think you protect the team. So I'm going to say Amorim got that wrong. I think we should have made the sub. I think we should have brought just sacrifice him. Bring Ugarte on. We need this guy for the Brentford game. He's now going to miss the Brentford game. Bring Ugarte on. They haven't got much attacking impetus on there, which I'll discuss about Maresca shortly. Just be safe. Play it safe. And I'm actually surprised that Ruben Amorim didn't play it safe, considering just how much problems we've had and how much bad feeling and the table being where it is, how we could have ended yesterday. I'm surprised he didn't make that. I think he's quite. I think he buggered it up, is what I'm saying. There was nothing to lose yesterday. Casemiro had just scored. It was 2-0. Keeping 11 men on the pitch, we'd have absolutely battered them. It would have been 4 or 5-0. It would have. Because what happened after that red card is Chelsea, regardless of the fact they were missing some creative players, looked and went, you know what? We're going to get into this. We'll get a chance here. So I think the Casemiro decision was a baffling one. I remember Fred a couple of seasons ago was on a yellow. Was it in the Europa League? And he was it Champions League, Europa League? And Ollie refused to take him off. He ended up getting sent off and we ended up losing the game. So naivety is what I'm going to say with that. Absolute naivety. Now, you can't blame a manager for trusting his player to do the right thing. But again, I look at the factors. The pitch was a mess with the water that was on there. I think we balls that one up. I genuinely do. Now, with regards to Maresca, Chelsea fans today, some are coming for him. Some are defending him. I think he got his subs completely wrong. I think regardless of being down to 10 men, I don't know why you're taking Pedro Neto off. And I don't know why you're taking the other boy off. Like, could he not have reshuffled with... And this isn't a Chelsea fan channel, so I'm not going to delve too much into it. But I think the subs he made absolutely saved United's bacon. I think the best subs in the game were the Chelsea ones for Manchester United, because second half against 10 men, if they'd have still had the other, I can't remember his name, Estevallo and Pedro Neto on, bombing down those wings against 10 men, I think it would have been a different result. I think it would have been a closer game than it was. So I think Maresca got that. I think he shit the bed. I think he absolutely crapped the bed. I think he looked at it and went, right, I'm just going to shut up shop here and try and get away as low scoring as I can. So I think, look, the one thing I'll say that Maresca got absolutely spot on was Garnacho. To watch Garnacho hanging over the bench, talking to him, looking at the tactics board, going, okay, yep, okay, yeah, I'm ready, I'm good, I'm ready. To then sit him down and make him watch the entire game afterwards, I thought was brilliant. So I think Maresca ballsed it up, and I think Manchester United were very fortunate that he made the wrong choices there. Wahaha's okay, that's good to hear. Good day to you, Jarl. He says, what happened between Ahmad and Garnacho after the game, Dan? Not sure if you see the other channels, but 80% of them are negative nannies after we win. I don't understand with the viewpoints. Look, we'll go into that quickly. I've got to be honest. Yes, Garnacho is very much disliked amongst us Manchester United fans. Let's be honest, we're not his biggest fans at the moment. In fact, we can't stand him because of the way he acted upon leaving the club, wearing the Villa shirt, acting like a petulant child, thinking he was better than the club. So yeah, he is an idiot, and I'm so glad that he is no longer a part of my club, your club, our club. But because Ahmad swap shirts with him at the end and then put it on Instagram. He's now had to delete Instagram for abuse he's got. Did we lose to Chelsea yesterday? Am I missing something? Did we lose? And did Garnacho score the winner? Like, I don't see a problem with this at all. Like, look, football is football. They're mates outside of football. On the pitch, I don't want you to be friends at all. On the pitch, when you are there, I want you to be battling. I don't care if you're best mates since you were 9. I don't care. I honestly don't. Off the pitch, different story. That would be like me. That would be like my best mate working for a rival insurance company and me saying, in work hours, mate, I hate you. I'm never going to speak to you. If I see you in the street, I'm just going to walk past you. But outside of work, of course I'm going to speak to him outside of work. I'm not going to say to him, well, you work for them. Absolutely not. We're done. I just don't understand that. That's where I don't understand the negativity. And some fan channels are calling it naive from Ahmad. I couldn't give a shit. I honestly couldn't care less. Do you know what I saw that picture as? When I saw it, I was like, look at Garnacho stood there stood there with Ahmad, who's just beat his team. Just honestly, I just don't understand it. And Ben, I'll jump to your comment quickly. Swapping shirts and doing these shitty bicycle kicks isn't a good look. The bicycle kicks, silly. He needs to curb that down. But swapping shirts, how many of the greatest players in the world have swapped shirts with bitter rivals? It happens. It's part of the game. Part of the game. As long as on the pitch they're not hugging each other and having a joke whilst the ball's in play, I don't care. I really don't. Couldn't give a rat's bum. What else have we got here? Giles says it's like we lose everyone angry. We draw. We go on a rampage, taking the 1 point worse than if we had not gotten a point. If we win, then it's almost as bad as if we lost. Don't get it. Well, that's the fan base, I'm afraid. I think Cass would have been removed in at half time, and there was minutes away from it. Yeah, I get it, Joel, but I think yesterday. Let's put ourselves in an alternate reality, right? Alternate reality. Casemiro comes off, Ugarte comes on. 11 against 10. They've picked all of their defensive players on there. They've only got one, which is Santos, which is their outgoing one. Cucurella is on a yellow because he's getting really, really, really agitated. 11 versus that 10, United batter them. They batter them because they'll break down. They would have broken down. So I just think we could have, yesterday could have been a lot less nervy than it had to be. But Casemiro also should know he's on a yellow and didn't need to do that. And look, a lot of people are saying, and I saw Jamie Redknapp saying, I don't think it's a second yellow. That was Australian. But you don't put yourself in that position. Casemiro's old enough to know that as well. Old enough and ugly enough to know that. The sub I do not understand is the Palmer one. Palmer was injured, Joel. They had full out defensive team on, and we backed up in a corner. Exactly that. Palmer going off injured helped us out. It did. Garnacho has a cauliflower arse from sitting on the bench. And as Andy said, he still has friends there. Look like E.T. I'm happy. Good to see you, Daz, by the way. I'm happy we won, but I also see the performance for what it was despite the win. And I'm in acceptance with that. I accept that. I do. I agree with you on that. But I think maybe we've just... Maybe we're focused too much on what the manager's done yesterday and not what the players did. I think the players, look, some of them players are seasoned professionals. They know what it is. They know what it takes. I think they played with so much fear in the second half. They allowed them to come onto them, which was fine. That may have been the tactic. But every time we got the ball, you're telling me Bruno Fernandes, who has played for this club, he's made appearance after appearance. He's won things with Portugal. I think it was the Nations League. This guy's played everywhere. You're telling me that you can't just hold on to the ball a little bit, because when we did hold on to the ball, we were okay. I just think it's not on the manager too much in the second half. I think the players let it down, to be honest. I think that's the first time I've seen a shirt swap from someone who didn't play. And evening, Kev. Good to see you, my man. I'm not bothered about them talking to Garnacho after the game. I do think Cassie would have been pulled at half-time. He didn't need to do it. Never a second. He should know better. And Cunha for Ahmad next game, says Andy. Do you know something? I actually thought, before the red card on Casemiro, I thought Ahmad looked so much better on the left of an attacking 10 an attacking 10 side. I liked him there. And we really were good in defence. Chelsea only got 5 shots off in 90 minutes of football. If we can remove letting in goals from corners or free kicks, almost normal to score against us. No, because Bruno is a flair player and will kick it away if there's a 5% chance with what he's trying to do. Come on now. And Lawrence says, I think he'll turn out a better coach than Senor Arteta. Ruben will. He did instill a will to win last night. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. De Ligt played at times in the first half in midfield. Do you know what? De Ligt was almost that hybrid, wasn't he? Picking the ball up. Do you remember at the start of the game, I said I was worried because Yoro wasn't on the field that we would essentially have a problem here because no one can pick that ball up and go into the midfield and start an attack. De Ligt was on fire with it yesterday. Mrs. Robinson in the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe or Mrs. Robinson will start hammering you all with chats. So yeah, look, the other thing I want to focus on is Garnacho. Garnacho looked visibly shocked yesterday when he got the response he got. When he was walking off the pitch at the end, he had a lot of chants aimed at him. And I've got to be honest with you, I think it's deserved. You can't do what he's been doing for the last sort of 3 months and expect to come back to Manchester United and everyone's going to kiss your feet because you scored a wonder goal against Everton. I'm so glad that this story with him is over. Like, I was worried yesterday. I remember seeing him getting warmed up and thinking, oh, you can just see it now. He's going to come on and score and you knew what he'd have done. It wouldn't have surprised me if he'd have legged it down the other end of the pitch to the Stretford end and sat on the board like he used to for us. So Garnacho, out of my head now. When do we play Chelsea again? I don't think we play Chelsea till, is it February? Let me have a quick look. When do we chat? Do you know when we play Chelsea again? When's it? When we at the Bridge? Let's have a look. October. So hang on, it'll be in the new year, won't it? It's not January. It's not February. When is it? It's not March. It's April. Okay, April. I can certainly wait until April. I can certainly wait till April. Now, there is some other news that I wanted to go through with you before we get back to the game. Did anybody see the interview with the manager of Brighton regarding Carlos Baleba? It was an interesting one. Carlos Baleba hauled off again yesterday. Carlos Baleba has not been playing well at Brighton since his move that he wanted to Manchester United never materialised. There's a lot of people asking the question, and I think we've got to talk about it. Of course we have. Has he down tools at Brighton? Is he sulking at Brighton? Does this now push United in January to go and try and get him? Well, I don't think a player like him would ever down tools. I think he's playing bad at the moment. I think he's playing poorly, and I think he is sulking. I think there's something here, you know. I've been dead against this, and I've said to you all, we don't go for Baleba in January. I said, don't even think about it. But when you see how he's been playing and you hear the Brighton manager making comments regarding him wanting to go to United, I have to sit here and question, would United be cheeky enough to go in January and say, look, he's out of form. If he continues this form, I'm saying, he's out of form. He obviously doesn't want to be there. The more he plays like this, the value is going to go down in the summer. Do you want us to just take him off your hands now? There's a potential here for Manchester United, if his form continues like that, to go and do that. But then there's the flip side. Do we want a player that is playing this badly at the moment? Would we be concerned that poor form that he's bringing from Brighton would come into Manchester United in an area where, let's be honest, the midfield for Manchester United needs sorting. It needs to be better than it's been in the last 10 years. So it's a case for both arguments here, isn't it? It's a case for both arguments. When you don't get your move, you can either sulk about it and potentially throw your toys out the pram and get your move, or you can sulk about it and you can give a bad taste of anybody looking to sign you. Now, of course, there's going to be loads of teams that are interested in Baleba and where he is at the end of the season if we don't go from in January. But I think it's interesting that Baleba has just been playing so badly. And I can only put it down to the fact that he obviously wanted to leave in the summer. So I think this is one to keep an eye on. Yes, we are near the end of September. We've still got October, November, December. So we've still got 3 months until the January transfer window. I'd be intrigued to see how this one plays out. It wouldn't surprise me if he's still playing bad, if sort of middle of December you start seeing the rumours. You start seeing the Manchester United sniffing around. So let's keep an eye on that one. Let's keep an eye on that one. Chappie says, this could be a false dawn. 11 against 11 would have given us a better picture of how good or not we are. Yeah, I agree with that. But then also, imagine 10v10 and we lose it, and we throw away the win. The one thing I will say is, regardless of how ugly it was at times yesterday, like it or not, we stood firm. We got the result. We did limit them to 5 shots. The only times that I was really concerned about Chelsea, I'm going to be honest with you, was dead ball situations, was corner situations. So it's a good question. It could be a false dawn. Look, as I said, Saturday is going to be the biggest game of the season. But guess what? Yesterday was the biggest game of the season. For me now, whilst we're looking at Amorim under a microscope, every game is the biggest game of the season. And that is the way that he should look at it. That is the way that the players should look at it. I saw Luke Shaw coming out yesterday thanking Roy Keane, for saying what he'd said essentially, and saying he agreed with him. I don't want to hear that, Luke Shaw. Do you know what I want to hear? I want to hear you say, yeah, that's a win out the way. We are determined now to go out there and do what it takes to get 2 in a row. And then do you know what? I want us to go get 3 in a row. And then do you know what? I want us to go and do something at Liverpool. And when I say do something, I don't mean go there and win, because that is going to be nigh impossible. But do you know something? This Manchester United team, even last season in its doldrums, still got results. On their day, they can go and produce results. I want us to be more consistent. Yesterday was a great start. Yesterday had me sitting there going, whoo, we've just beat a team that self-proclaimed by some of their fans a Premier League title contenders here. We've just beaten a team that everyone, myself included, was terrified about playing. It was only after giving them a header wobble from Wednesday onwards I said, nah, stuff this, forget that. That Chelsea team's there for the taking. So there has to be a mentality shift now with this Manchester United team. There has to be. We have all been waiting for a moment where this team goes, right, we're on it. We're on it now. We ain't taking another beating. We ain't going there and looking and thinking we can try, but we might not get there. We're going there and we're getting points. Away from home, we've been woeful. When was Manchester United's last away win in the Premier League? When was Manchester United's last away? Was it Leicester? Don't say it was Leicester. Chat, do we know when United's last away win was in the league? When was their last away win in the league? I've got a feeling it was Leicester last season. Chat, help me out with that one, because you'd think that this would help you, wouldn't it? Hang on a minute. Let me have a look. Someone got it already? I'll go through these comments in a second. Does anyone know when the last away? I think it was. I swear to God, I think it was Leicester. When was Man United's last away win in the league? ChatGPT, come on, you fudger. Has anyone got it yet? I think it was Leicester, Yeah, Leicester. There we go. Lawrence, you're right. I thought it was. So Manchester United's last away win was Leicester in March. 2 things. That was last season. And it was against the team that got relegated. So Manchester United, again, we've got to go out there and do something with this. We've got to go out there and get the wins. Yeah, winning at home. Great. Brilliant. Chuffed to bits with it. Let's follow it up with some new energy. Let's follow it up. Ferdinand says, I hope we finally win back-to-back Premier League games. You, me, both, brother. De Ligt was so good. He's been amazing. And what does and Moxie says, Ahmad did look a bit better from left 10, but restricted Brian a little bit. Cunha in for Ahmad next game, definitely. And there we go. Good evening, Mrs. R. Chappie's serenading you there, boo-boo. And yes, remember to like and subscribe, people. Reality has finally struck Garnacho. He is a bench player at Chelsea. Just poetry in motion. Left United because he was sick of sitting on the bench. Come back to Manchester United to play them. Ended up sat on the bench. Brilliant. Garnacho does not look like he will get many minutes. Who knows? Nah, he'll be there for the season. I'm not sure about Baleba. I'm not sure Baleba can take the pressure at United, says Ferdinand. Is it mental toughness with Baleba? This is the question. Andy says, you can guarantee we will pick them in the FA Cup at Old Trafford. Probably. Lawrence says, we've seen these youth academies players come up together and become malcontents. But in reality, we still need better senior players in the 24, 26 age range, though probably not as old as Gyökeres, I agree. Or is he not at all good and just had a one-off decent season? I like you said that, Ben, because that is a question that needs to be answered. I'm worried about Baleba. If he cannot play well all the time, then we should stay away. You've got to be very strong-minded when you take the pressure at Manchester United. I agree. I'll go through some more of these comments in a minute. Look. Another thing that I think was left unanswered yesterday, and I'm gonna agree with Wahaha here. I'm gonna agree with him because yes, the Chelsea game. What has it shown you that gives you confidence for Brentford? There were questions from yesterday. There were. We played well in spells. First half against 10, of course. Anyone's going to look good against 10, unless you're Aston Villa. Villa, man. Villa. I thought Dorgu was so poor yesterday. I thought early parts, brilliant. Some of his crossing was decent. Second half, I thought he was all over the place. And I thought he was at fault for the corner that we conceded the goal in because he just switched off from the short corner. And there's a moment where you look at him, the ball gets played, and he goes like that, as if to say, what am I doing? Now, yes, we need to remember that Dorgu is 20 years old. He is. And at 20 years old, he is being expected to be the number one left wing back for Manchester United. I think with Dorgu, we've got obviously Diego Leon, but I don't think Diego Leon's going to be someone we can rely on for another 12 months, 18 months. It wouldn't surprise me if Manchester United in the summer look for an older head to go there and play there and challenge him, or maybe Diego Leon becomes a stronger boy and someone we can rely on. But I do think that Dorgu needs backup, and I do think Dorgu needs competition because at the moment Dallow's out, so you can't play Dallow there. I wouldn't want to play Mazraoui there. I know there's some people in the chat that said play... no, it was actually Tez that said play Ahmad at left wing back because he's left-footed. But at the moment, we actually have a situation here where the left wing back is inexperienced, very inexperienced in the Premier League, very young, and with no real problem there to push him to keep that spot as his own. So left wing back is something we've got to keep an eye on this season. I like Dorgu, but yesterday I watched him and I went, Dorgu, you've lost me today. You've lost me. I thought you were appalling. So I do agree with Wahaha on the point about what he said there. And the confidence I will say about going into Brentford, I want to see a togetherness. I think other bits of confidence is that Cunha will be back fit, match fit. Mount will be back match fit. Is this the game that we finally see Sesko playing in front of Cunha and Brian? Is this the game? I think it could potentially be so. That would be a massive positive for me. That would. I don't think he'd start Harry Maguire again. I think against Brentford he will. No, actually, do you know something? I'm lying to you. I think he will start Harry Maguire because they've got height and it will help us defensively. So he's got a lot of. And the other situation as well. Let's look at this. And I think we all know the answer before I even go into this. But who's going to play instead of Casemiro? Will he surprise us all and put Mainu in there with Bruno? Or will he go Ugarte? My money's on Ugarte because Ugarte came on yesterday. So there are things to be positive on, but I take exactly what you said there, Wahaha. I do. We can't run away with ourselves. Yes, it's a good win, but we need to focus on the next game. Like I said to you before, every game, okay, every game is as important as the last one. Said on here right away about Garnacho move that he'll be this season's Dewsbury Hall. Will be played just enough to keep teams interested by Chelsea and sold in the summer. Yeah, I agree with that, Moxie. I do agree with that. 2 centre mids and 2 wing backs for the summer. I would like to go for Stiller and Wharton, but wing backs are even more crucial for getting a striker like Sesko firing. I think we're seeing that, aren't we? I think we are seeing that. And Wahaha said this before, and I have to agree with him, that the wing backs in this formation have to be spot on. Mazraoui's doing a wonderful job there. He is doing a wonderful job there, but I'd like to see someone push on. Last year, we would have lost that game. We would have. What is the... I've answered that one. Anyway, I'm off for now. Take care, Joel. Have a good out evening. And he says, make sure someone needs to make Dan an extra large lasagna. He's lost a stone. We should let him. No. I've been good. I had an omelette today for my lunch, actually. 3 in a row means that nice lad in Spain cuts his hair. No, it's 5, isn't it? I think it's 5. And I don't think I'm trying to... Look, Wahaha. There's nothing wrong with your views, mate. I joshed you before by saying, cheer up. This is why we do this channel. If we all sat here and went, United are mint, and everyone went, yeah! Well, then we wouldn't have anything to talk about, would we? So, no, you're not. I don't even care if you are trying to sour things up, mate. I like the fact you've got a different opinion. Watched last night. Brentford have a really shaky goalkeeper. They do, isn't it? Callagher from Liverpool. Harry Maguire and a senior back three seems to indicate fighting spirit. It does. When was the last time we beat Liverpool away? Oh God, Liverpool away. Now I tell you what, I've got an idea. Hang on a minute though. I just want to make sure, and I'll put it in the chat for someone to answer. Away win at Liverpool. I think it's. Is it then? Yeah, okay, I've got it. In the chat. Oh, Chappie's straight in there. January 2016. We all remember that game. This is a placeholder result. We learned nothing really, says top player. Dorgu needs some crossing practice, says Ben. A tweak in the starting lineup for me would help for Brentford, would give more confidence. Back three, Yoro, Maguire, De Ligt, with Maz right wing back and Shaw left wing back. And I agree. With you, Moxie. I think that back three would be perfect. I think now is the time to push Luke Shaw into left wing back. Utilise him for the last 2 before the October internationals. Because guess what? After that, a certain butcher is back in town. I think Luke Shaw. I think put Luke Shaw there, definitely. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Lewis Skelly played all last season at left back. He's a midfielder and younger than Dorgu. Okay. But Lewis Skelly's playing in a team that's consistently qualifying for Champions League, consistently finishing second, consistently pushing teams. It's a more settled team he's going into, top player. We could say the same for when the class of 92 broke in. They broke in and did well because they were in a consistent title-winning team. Winning breeds winning. Dorgu at the moment is young and he's got to learn what he, like the rest of the team, has got to learn what it's like to be a winning team, to be a team that can push on. Well, my mouse is doing my head in tonight. I'll have to use the pad. Our wing backs are not producing enough. They're absolutely not. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get through these comments. I've been a right bugger for you lot tonight. The so-called smaller teams can pick off the Giants anytime. They might have less skill and technical ability, but plenty of heart. And he can't drop Sesko for Brentford. He'll start Ugarte for Casse. I tell you what, we haven't done a poll yet. Let's do a poll. And remember, make sure you like and subscribe the video if you haven't already. It helps. As Wahaha says, your boy out a lot. Who... I can't even spell. Who replaces... I was going to put who replaces Wahaha. Who replaces Casemiro in midfield for the Brentford game? Ugarte or Menu? Nice and simple. Get your votes in, you beautiful buggers. Who replaces Casemiro in midfield for the Brentford game? We know playing a slow defence won't work in normal games. And do you know what though? Top player. Yesterday, if my memory recalls, even before, well, I mean, it's only 4 minutes. Do you know what? My argument's redundant there. I'm going to shut up with that one. Look, I can admit I'm wrong, unlike some content creators. I want to bench Ahmad because he was not passing to Sesko and Buemo to provide box service from wide. Dallo back, though Mazza, I think, is okay as a right wing back. Dorgu is like Wan-Bissaka, not a forward wing back. I don't want Dallo anywhere near the starting 11 at the moment. I can't lie. I don't want Dallo. I don't think Dallo deserves to be anywhere near it. I think Dallo's been poor. I think he's been atrocious for us. So I don't want that. The lasagna, not for you. It's for Jasper. Jasper's done well with food today. Ahmad was fuming during the game for some reason. There was moments, I can see why there's something in my mouth there. There was moments yesterday where, again, I talk about not putting it on the manager. I talk about putting it on the players, where the players, for some reason, there was like 4 or 5 opportunities where we had them one-on-one. You know, we were firing through. We broke through. And it was like Bruno at one point had, I think it was Ahmad, I think he had Dorgu, and he had Sesko and Brian. And he chose the complete wrong pass. I saw Ahmad do it a couple of times. I saw Brian do it a couple of times. There were so many opportunities yesterday. If they'd have used the right pass, we'd have been in several more times. So, I think that's probably why he was fuming. Dorgu needs to improve his delivery massively to help Sesko in the system. As you say, Lawrence, yes, they are important. Brian wasn't passing to Sesko. I had Liverpool fans sending me text during the game saying how selfish Brian's been. Don't listen to bloody Liverpool fans. Before they learn to win, they do well to learn the basics of the game, as in passing the ball. Oof. Do you know what, though? And we can all say to Wahaha, cheer up. But do you know what Wahaha has done for me tonight? I don't know if that's old water. We'll give it a go. Of course, we'll give it a go. What do you reckon, chat? Do you reckon I can chug that in one? Should we chug it in one? Let's give it a chug. I haven't drank any more water today. Oh, Christ. Excuse me, that was disgusting. I needed to drink that. Oh, right, back to it. What I was going to say was, should we not still be feeling like Wahaha? Should we not still be sat here going, it was good, we got the win, that's the main thing, but now we need to rebuild? And I think that is what, let me just get, oh Christ, I shouldn't have nailed that. Oh, I'm going to regret that. Hang on 2 seconds. Right. Whoo! That was bloody that. I felt that there. So he said we started the game really well, very aggressive. We were so aggressive in the second balls, which I agree. Then he also acknowledged that Chelsea's early red card for the goalkeeper Sanchez played a role in the game, but emphasised the importance of capitalising on such opportunities. Now, I want to pause going through the rest of it before because I want to speak about that. We were talking, my hair's a right mess, by the way. We were talking about, I look like Ace Ventura. We were talking about the importance of what Sesko was going to bring to this team. And that red card was a direct result of what Sesko's there to do. Now, yeah, we don't want long ball all the time, but Binder plays that long ball forward. Sesko rises, out jumps at Chalobah, knocks it on, and Mbuemo's in. I am looking forward to, and I've said this before, I'm looking forward to seeing this become a reality more often, because instead what you're going to see is Sesko doing that week in, week out with Cunha, who's got a footballing brain, and Brian, who's got a footballing brain, pushing on and attacking. So we have to remember that, yeah, okay, the red card helped, but it was a direct response because of what we did during the game. So then he goes on to say about Casemiro, and he said, Casemiro shows he cares. Casemiro is very upset. I will leave it for today. He said, and I think what he's saying there is, okay, we got away with the win here. If we hadn't got away with the win, I'd have been absolutely fuming. He then goes on and says this: now it's time to create a bit of momentum. We started the game really well, very aggressive, but he cautioned against complacency and highlighted that maintaining a high level of performance is crucial to avoid unexpected defeats. What this says from the manager is what I think we're saying, what Wahaha's saying there. Yeah, it was good. We got the win, but now we've got to push on and do something with this. That guy will know that he is still under a lot of immense pressure there. It's not beer, don't risk it. I tell you what, guys, I'm going to Butlins on Friday. El Vino will flow. I'm going to jump in on the live stream for the Brentford game. I might do the pre-match with Kev from my phone. I'll probably already be about 3 or 4 beers deep in that, so I'll have to be careful. Where's Lewis Skelly playing this season? Answer: off the bench. He played 23 times last season only because Calafiori was injured. Yes, he done well, but as Dan said, it's a good team with confidence. Thank you very much. Got my back there. I felt first half our passing was good and kept possession better. I agree. And evening, Anthony. Good to see you, my friend. And then I will go to what Andy says here. We've had plenty of shite weeks. Let's enjoy the win. Let's enjoy the win, because I'll share this now. Let me just share. Do you believe in life after love? Let me just share this for you. So we've had 5 fixtures. We have had 5 fixtures. Let's bring these into it now. Let me share the screen. Let me share. I might have to zoom in for it, though. Let me just get rid of your comment a second, Andy. You know I love you dearly. And let me just zoom in. Right, perfect. I don't want to log into... Okay, whatever. Right then, so... Chat, there's a few of you in here. United away at Brentford. How many points do you think we'll get in that game? Let's do this all together now. There's a few of you in the chat. How many points do you think we'll get in that game? I am going to say we can go to Brentford and we can get a win. So I'm going to say 3 points in that game. I'm going 3 points against Brentford. How many points are we getting in that game, chat? Ben says 3. Anybody else? Anybody lurking with a points prediction for that game against Brentford? Did Brentford? Yes, Brentford just got beat by Fulham, Steve-O. How many points? How many points? Because I'm going to say 3. If there's any football in logic, 3. So Chappie's saying 3. Steve's saying 3. Moxie says going for 3 points. They look a bit shaky. Okay. The overriding feeling is 3. Perfect. Warbzo, good to see you, my man. Hope you are well. Wahaha says, I don't feel confident at all. I think we'll lose. Okay. Perfect. Next game. We have Sunderland at home. Sunderland have started decent this season. I will say that. How many points are you going against Sunderland? Again, I'm going to go stupid, I know. But I'm going to go 3 points. Let me just put Brentford there. Let me put Sunderland there. How many points against Sunderland? By the way, I am being stupid because we've never won 2 in a row. So for me to think we're winning 3, but you know what? This is what I'm thinking. Let me land with it. Wahaha says 3. Ben says 1. Anthony says 3. Warbzo says 1. Chappie says 3. Steve-O says 3. Jamie says 3. Okay, so the overriding one is 3 there. I'm going to go with the overrider, okay? Then we've got that treacherous trip to Liverpool. How many points at Liverpool? I am going to be brutally honest with you, chat. I think we get panned at Liverpool. I think we get panned at Liverpool. I think it's like a 2 or 3-0 loss at Liverpool because we're not quite there yet. Liverpool are on their own journey, and I don't expect us to be boyish enough. I don't think we're anywhere near in the project to say that we can go there and get a point. Andy says 1. Warburton says minus 100. Ben says 1. Okay, so hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Okay. Quite equal here. Steve-O says we haven't beat him in 9 years away. But Steve-O, what are you saying? How many points? Are you going 0 with that? Jamie says 1. Anybody else? Steve-O, are you going 0? Wahaha says, okay. Overriding 1 is 0 with that. Okay. Overriding 1 is 0. Okay, then the next game, we are home to Brighton. And that is going to be a massive game. Wahaha says 0 as well. We are going to say, so what are we saying? Brighton have been our bogey side for a long time. Brighton have been a bogey side. I think we get a point against Brighton. I think a point. I actually think I think a point. Moxie says 3. What are we saying, chat? Brighton must win because November is kind of tricky. Brighton just got beat. Yes, they did, but it's Brighton. 3 points versus Brighton. Belabra. Imagine Belabra just turns and wellies it into the back of the net. Brighton, 3. Minte. Does anyone remember that advert with Johnny Vegas? Monkey. Oh, you monkey liar. The PG Tips one. I used to love that advert. Brighton's playing good. Welcome, Acco. How many points against Brighton? The overriding 1 here is 3. I'm writing the overriding 1 down because I'm going to go with mine. I'm going to go with yours. Wahaha says 0. Chappie says 1. Okay, so we're going to go with 3. Right, then the final one. The final one on the 5 takes us to the 1st November. And that is Nottingham Forest away. Now, Wolfie, and if Isaac is in the chat, I'm going to say something here that's going to make them laugh, but I don't give a flying hoot. I think we get 3 points away at Forest because I don't think I don't think Forest look the same team as they did under Nuno. And with that high line, I think Manchester United will have all the fun in the world against them. So I'm going 3 points. Anthony says 3. Andy says 3. Ben says 3. It looks overriding, this does, chat. Looks overriding. Anybody else? Akko says 3. Wahaha says he thinks we'll lose. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Wahaha. Chappie says 1. By the way, the polls ended. 60% of you think Agate. Okay, so 3. Overriding 1 is 3 points from you all. Okay, so hang on a minute. There's some late. Right, anybody else think a point? I've got 3 of you saying no. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4 of you are saying 3 points. I don't think we'll get more than that. So what we're saying on average, you guys are saying in the chat. Oh, Moxie's just come in there. Moxie's just cut. No, still 4. There's 4. Okay. So the overriding feeling from the chat is 12 points. From me, it's 10 points. That's the next 5 fixtures, chat. Let me just get off that a second. Okay, so that's the overriding feeling. If Manchester United can do what we hope and what we pray... Oh, Kev's, honestly... At this point, I wonder if Kev's even a real friend at all. He's just messaged me to say he's nipping out from watching the stream to go and get an Indian takeaway when he knows I'm on a diet. He does this on purpose. Oh! Who needs friends when you got enemies? Yeah. The overriding feeling is, from you guys, 12 points from the next 5 games. From me, it's 10 points. Now, if Manchester... I'm going to say something with this. If I'm right and you're right, if we're averaging between 10 and 12 points, so if we'll go in the middle, 11 points, that for me is putting us in Champions League contention this side of Christmas, isn't it? Which is ridiculous for us to say. It's ridiculous for us to say. It gets us to November because, let me go back onto it. I think November looks... How's November looking for United? So in November, we've got Forest... November's not great. We've got Forest, Spurs away. Then we got another international break. Then we've got Everton at home, and then we've got Crystal Palace potentially away. It says date to be decided. So it's a toughie. And then we get into United have just got to get to December. If United can get to December, we've got West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle, and Wolves again. Christ, I tell you what. Right, okay, I'm putting this in the chat. I'm putting it in the chat for you. Have United have United ridden the wave, and can we push on and save the season? Have we ridden a wave of horrendous results and issues and mistakes, and can we now go on and do something with this season? Let's see how we're feeling. Ooh, straight away. Let's have a look. I just think if United get through these next 5 games, take Liverpool out of it, there's 4 winnable games there. United start to look a complete different breed. I'd be interested to see if we get to December. If we can get to December and we're in sort of 7th, 8th, with that run of games, Manchester United have a real opportunity to get to January and be in a real solid position. Save our seasons, Steve. I mean, when I say save our season, I mean get us into European places, mate. Europe is a necessity, not relegated. I'd never say that. I'd never say that. 10 points in the next 5 is fair. Should be the minimum. Moxie says I'll take 10 to 12 points in the next 5. A few days ago, we were ready to throw Amorim to the walls. Let's not get carried away, chappy. I know. I agree. And Ben says, did he offer to pick you something up to drop? No. Did he help? But actually, he's a good friend next. He knows I can't have it. I don't know who's after Forest, but suspect it's not so good as 10. It's not good. So 10 as December is really good. Okay, Lawrence, I agree. As United fan, I'd take 10 or 12, says Jamie. Akko says, we as fans are not asking for much. We only need a little bit of consistency. We gotta try a little consistency. Yeah. We are feeling happy tonight. Lots of ties against lame teams in December, agree. I can't shake the idea that we'll be the same cycle where we beat big teams like Chelsea on our day, but we turn off again against Brentford and Sunderland. Well, look, the fact of the matter is this. If we lose against Brentford, guys, I'm going to be in the right place because I'll be able to drown my sorrows whilst dressed as 11 from Stranger Things. Yes, I've got the dress and the wig. I'll definitely post pictures. I'll be able to just drown my sorrows whilst watching Tony Hadley sing a bit of Wahaha, actually. Wahaha. I'm going to record it for you, mate. I'm going to record Tony Hadley singing Wahaha. Oh, that's mint. I'll do that for you, mate. Save Ruben and save money for a better squad, says Lawrence. To balance it up on paper, our December could potentially be very good. Top 5, says Steve-O. It'll depend on what we are like next game. We need to play a lot better against tougher teams, and we do. Ruben has to say I've already ordered my Christmas jumper with him on it. Goldbrin was right about the good times after 10 games. We should prioritise Champions League over cup runs. Potentially. If we are still around Europe by Christmas and we get Belabour in January, I'll be very positive. Until then, I'm not getting my hopes up. And look, yeah, to close the show, look, we're all riding on a wave of emotion. We're on a high emotion. And luckily for us, we have Wahaha, who is like this. No, I'm not letting you get up there. I'm pulling you back. Remember. Come on. I'm pulling you back, and we need Wahaha to do that. Wahaha is the voice of reason in chat. If we go, if we go Saturday and we lose, and we go Sunderland and draw, well, then this is all for nothing, isn't it? And we're sat here scratching our heads again. But I'm kind of annoyed with myself, and I'm kind of bored of being so angry. If you watch me in live streams, it's nigh impossible for me to not get angry. But I want some positivity, United fans. I want some positivity for this Dan United community. I want us to be sat here after games, instead of going, Christ almighty, we're so bad. I want us to be sat there going, we've won again here and again, with DJ Khaled and another one. I want that for the team. I do. Anthony says 10 points plus would be decent. Danish, good to see you. Patrice Evra, one time PK burned my shoes and it wasn't funny because I had pictures of my children on them. So I took his shoes, went to the toilet and I shite inside them. Patrice Evra, man, he was a don. He was a don. Well, Dan, I've just had a big plate of proper homemade chips with 2 fried eggs. Moxie, you bastard. Anthony says, homemade chips, get egg and gammon for me tonight, Mox. Wahaha. You know I love you, wahaha. Join the live just briefly, fully dressed up so we can all see. I will be dressed up at that point because I've got 2 costume changes. I'm practically on stage that day. I'll be dressed as a golfer for the United game, so I might do it. I'm meeting Kev on Wednesday, and we're going to set up the Discord. I'm going to set up the Discord because I want us to have a chat, guys, where we can all speak. Also, I want to start. I'm really going to kick it in with the memberships when I get back off my holiday. So I will say this before we go. So my holiday plans now. Essentially, this is the last week you're going to see me live consistently. I'm live tomorrow. Might be a bit later because it's Mrs. Robinson's father's birthday. So I'll be going and seeing him and singing happy birthday to him. So it might be a little bit later. Tuesday, I'll be here as normal. Wednesday, I'm meeting Kev because we've got stuff we're planning for the Discord and we're planning for memberships and we're planning for content after I'm back. Thursday, I will be here. And then Friday, I'm away. So I might do a cheeky little live stream from my phone whilst at Butlins. Not sure it's a good idea because I'll have had a few drinks, but I might do a cheeky little live stream just because I can't stay away from you all, and we'll want to have a chat about the game. And then Saturday it's Kev. Saturday's going to be Saturday Kev's going to be live. I might jump on and do something if I'm not too hungover on the Sunday. Monday I'm back. Tuesday I'm back. Then Wednesday I fly to Gran Canaria for a week. So I might do a couple of lives away on holiday, but ultimately Kev will be taking care of you. Now, the Discord I want up and running preferably before I go to Butlins. I want to make sure that I'm able to communicate with my beautiful, fantastic community, all the OGs included, and the new people. This community, I say it all the time, is phenomenal, and we're going to grow together. So that holiday whilst I'm away is going to give me a lot of time to reset, have a think about how we take this channel further. The channel's still in its infancy. We haven't been going 3 months yet. We're doing incredible. There's more things to come is what I'm trying to say. I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best version of this channel I can. I'm only going to be able to do it with your ideas. I'm going to do something with the memberships as well, where I allow members to, I'm going to put some debates that we can put up, and I'm going to allow the members to choose what we speak about that night to do it. But look, there's plenty more news to come from that. Other than that, guys, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday for what it is. I've loved spending this evening with you. I will see you tomorrow. It might be a bit of a later time, but did you just see that? I think that was a hair. I hope it was. I hope it wasn't a ghost. But ultimately, go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Love you all. Dan United. Uta. Have a great evening. Kema.